Today on Yester Kitchen, we are going to learn all about the history of cheesecake. Yay! And we are going to make one amazing, easy, no-bake recipe. You're going to love it. Let's get started. Hey everyone, I'm Jill and this is Yester Kitchen. If you're new here, welcome. It would be an honor to have you join us as we explore retro history through food. And today, I've got a good one for you. So we're going to explore the history of cheesecake, which was actually a request from one of my beautiful soul sisters, Ellen. Ellen actually has a channel right here on YouTube, and I'll put her link down below. She's awesome. She makes all kinds of Southern stuff, and oh, it's all so good. So anyway, she asked me about the history of cheesecake, and of course, I got you covered. So, where did cheesecake come from? We can date it back over 2,000 years old. So cheesecake can be dated all the way back to ancient Greece. They were actually discovered cheese molds that were over 2,000 years old. But of course they didn't have cream cheese and it didn't look like the cheesecake we know and love today. It consisted of cheese, some form of cheese, wheat, flour, and honey. And so people were enjoying it way back then. And then in came the Romans and conquered Greece, and they took everything, including their recipes, and they took their cheesecake and they added eggs. So see, it's gonna kind of layer upon this history. So the ancient Romans added the eggs, and then of course, as history tells us, the ancient Romans went and conquered all these other countries. So every country that they took over, they brought their recipe, and every country that was taken over added their own special touches. And so cheesecake kind of moved and evolved through the years, and it was always, I mean, how do you not love cheesecake? So it was always a favorite, and it just kept getting manipulated and tweaked and changed and to something wonderful. So cheesecake finally arrived in America in the 18th century from immigrants, as we get most of our amazing dishes from. And that is where the cheesecake we know and love started to look like the cheesecake we know and love. So cream cheese was an all-American addition, and of course, game changer. But anyway, there was a New York dairy farmer in 1872 who was trying to recreate Newfachel, and by accident, a very happy accident, he invented cream cheese. And cream cheese just all of a sudden got super popular. I wonder why. And in 1875, the Philadelphia company bought it, wrapped it in those foil packages that we know and love today, and started selling it, and cheesecake everywhere was born. Now there's one more cheesecake we need to talk about, but we're gonna get a cheesecake started first. So I have tons of retro cheesecake recipes, but I personally don't think there's any better one or any easier one than my mother-in-law Cindy's, and there she is. Isn't she adorable? She's wonderful. And this was actually my husband Rod's favorite dish, absolute favorite dessert growing up. So when I finally got the recipe, I had to try it. It's easy, it's delicious. You're gonna love it. So here we go. Let's start with our oven at 350, and we're gonna make a crust. After that, there is no baking. So in my happy little mixing bowl right here, I have 3 cups of graham cracker crumbs. I buy them already ground because they just produce a really fine crumb, and that's what you want. You're welcome to put graham crackers in a Ziploc bag and do your rolling pin or your wine bottle and crush them down too, as long as you have 3 cups. Okay, to our graham crackers, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, and and then we're gonna mix it around a bit. Specifically saying granulated because we are gonna use powdered sugar in our next step. Okay, and last thing is I have 3/4 cup or a stick and a half, same difference, of melted butter. And this is about as simple as you can get for an absolutely perfect cheesecake crust. So I'm just gonna take a second and mix this around until it's fully blended. Okay, so now everything is completely blended, and now we're gonna get that out of the way and bring in a 9x13. I didn't grease it because you've got a lot of butter in here, so you're gonna be fine, but if you wanna grease it, don't let me stop you. Okay, into here goes all our crumbs. Now I will, while I'm patting this down, I will let you know, yes, this is supposed to be a thick crust, so don't worry, it really adds to the consistency of this cheesecake, and I'm telling you, and because it's from the 70s, it is definitely made of convenience foods, which you'll see in a second and you'll love. But for right now, we need to just get this just a little golden, not even golden, just kind of set. So this is going into our 350 oven, about 10, 12 minutes. That's really all you need. Just take a look, and the color is barely gonna change, but you're just gonna get more solid, and that butter is gonna hold the graham crackers together. And then you're gonna let it cool down completely. Not in the fridge, just put it out, cool down completely, and then we will be back to make our filling. It's gonna be so good. Okay, so our crust cooked for about 12 minutes. Take a look. And it is just, you can just feel it. It is hard, and it hardens up as it cools. So you can put this in the fridge, you can put it in the freezer if you want, you can leave it out on the counter, whatever you want it cooled down, because you don't want any heat in your crust, because we're gonna pour our topping over it, and we don't want it to get all melty. So anyway, now let's do our ridiculous easy filling that we're not gonna bake. Right here, in my happy, soon to be happier little mixing bowl, I have 2 8-ounce blocks of cream cheese that are softened. It's been sitting out for a while. And all I'm gonna do, this is my thing, I'm just gonna blend it just a tiny bit just to get it going, and then we'll add all our other stuff in it. Okay, so we just wanna get it started, and that way it just helps it soften a little bit. Now we're gonna add the good stuff. Now this gets a little bit messy, but don't worry, we'll be fine. Okay, first thing I have, this is a 2-pound bag of powdered sugar, to which I've already used half. You need 1 pound of sugar. Guess what I made before with the other half? Maybe pour in just a little bit at a time, because you are gonna get smoke from your powdered sugar everywhere. So we're just gonna do this really slowly, on low, and just until we used up the whole bag. Okay, as you can see, it's everywhere. Maybe add it a little slower than what I did. I got a little excited showing you. Maybe pour in just a little bit at a time, because you are gonna get smoke from your powdered sugar everywhere. Give me a second to clean this all up, and I will be right back. Okay, we're all cleaned up. It happens sometimes, but you know what? Powdered sugar is so easy to clean up. Just a little damp paper towel, problem solved. Okay, now I'm gonna finish just mixing up all this powdered sugar until everything is smooth and happy. Okay, now we're gonna put this, we're just gonna leave it here because we have one more thing to add with the mixer. And yes, you can use a stand mixer. Might not be as much of a mess, but this is just easier for me to show you. There's 2 more things we add to our mixture. One is almond extract. So let's talk about that really quick. Almond extract is a very, very strong extract. So in here you want 2 teaspoons, but because there's so much dairy, it covers up the taste of the almond. I added a tablespoon because the times I've made it before, I really didn't taste the almond at all. So the original recipe is 2 teaspoons, which is what's down there, but I'm adding a full tablespoon. And there we go. And now we just finished mixing. Okay. It takes a few extra minutes, but I promise you, it is so worth it. All right, so now we have this gorgeous, gorgeous, very, very smooth cream cheese mixture. Now to this, it's time to add a little bit of magic. Cool Whip, I know, right? So this is what's gonna lighten it up, and it's just gonna add this perfect something to it, and I promise you, it's amazing. And not only is it amazing, it is very, very 70s. Which, you know, is my jam. And you're just gonna kind of stir it gently until everything is combined. So give me just a minute to do that. Okay, our mix is done. Look at this, it is absolutely silky, smooth, and beautiful. So definitely worth the extra effort. So we're just gonna take this out of the way and bring back our beautiful crust, which now has a little powdered sugar on it, but who cares? Okay, so now we're gonna put our mixture right on the crust. So while I do this, I promised you one more cheesecake story. So, New York cheesecake, probably one of the most beloved versions of cheesecake, even though there's so many fabulous versions and flavors kind of all over the place. You name it, it's been made into a cheesecake. But the person that should get credit for creating New York cheesecake is one Mr. Arthur Rubin, who may or may have not invented our beloved Reuben sandwich. We'll get to that in another episode. But he was out in New York one night at a friend's house at a dinner party, and the hostess there served cheese pie. Because remember, cream cheese was around and Americans were already falling in love with cheesecake. So she served a cheese pie that he tried and just loved. And he decided to go home and experiment with it and kind of improve on it. So what he did was he wound up adding some cream and egg yolks and just kind of made it a whole richer cheesecake. And that, my friends, is New York cheesecake. And that just kind of took off, as you know. Okay, we have our beautiful cheesecake. It needs a topping. My mother-in-law's recipe, Cindy's recipe, and Rod's favorite, my husband Rod, is cherry. Straight up pie filling out of the can from your market. Of course, you can do other fruit flavors, but cherry is my recipe, and so that's what I'm gonna add. And yes, you can take a clean spatula, but I'm just gonna do it this way because it's all gonna mix together anyway. You want 2 cans or actually I kinda like that. Kinda makes this like cool marbled look. You know what, I haven't done that before. I'm kinda liking it. You don't have to. Okay, 2 cans of cherry pie filling goes all around the top. Ooh, I really like that marbled look. Do you? Oh, you don't have to. We're all different. Hopefully you do. This goes into the fridge at least an hour. You really want it to start to solidify. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and we'll be back to cut it and taste it. I can't wait. I'll see you in a few. We're done. It's been about an hour and a half. You can easily make it in the morning and let it sit all day, and dinner, well, dessert, will be ready for you. But this is after an hour and a half, which looks exactly the same. Take a look, and actually, the more I look at it, I am loving this marbling effect, so I think I might be doing this from now on. You can do whatever you like. Okay, so all that's left is to cut a piece, and my husband Rod is waiting upstairs for me to finish. Now, the crust is a little extra thick, which what you want. So just know when you cut it, you're gonna have to really just go deep down. But oh my goodness, my mother-in-law knew exactly what she was doing. And give me 1 second, because like I always say, it's that corner piece. But there it is. There we go. Hello, cheesecake. We did it. The rest is gonna be a piece of cake. There it is. Look at my beautiful, beautiful cheesecake. It's so easy. It's no bake, well, except the crust for a few minutes, but it's just so good. Everything works. It's cheesecake. Cream cheese, cherries, graham cracker. How can you possibly go wrong? Yay! I just love cheesecake. And I happen to really, really love this recipe. I hope you give it a try. If you would like to explore more dishes from your childhood or just the past, I invite you to subscribe. I release new videos every week. In the meantime, there's some more retro dishes for you. And remember, every dish, even my mother-in-law, Cindy's cherry cheesecake, definitely has a story. I'll see you in the next video.